We will start in the next 2 minutes. Welcome to everybody. Okay, so once again, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's class. I hope everybody can see me, and I hope everybody can hear me. Okay, so good morning to everyone on the call, and we're starting right away for today's session. Once again, my name is Edith, the Administrator of Transformation College of Business and Technology. All right, so without waste of time, I would like to share my screen and also take us through the rules of engagement again as far as this class is concerned, so that those who are just joining us would be fully carried along. All right, so here we go. So in case you are just joining us for the first time, probably you missed the session last Saturday. Kindly pay attention to the following rules of engagement. It is important for us to have a very free flow of the program today without hitches. So if you're just joining us, please fill the attendance form. Mercy, can you please share the attendance form link on the chat room? Everybody fill up the attendance form. Okay. So our rules of engagement, rule number 1, okay, this program is scheduled for 12 weekends, starting from last Saturday anyways, and it will run through to December 23rd, 2023. And rule number 2, we shall observe a 30-minute break per weekend from 12:30 to 1 p.m. every weekend. Rule number 3, there would be an assessment at the end of every session, and everyone is expected to take the assessment. Right. Number 4, only those who go through the program from start to finish would be issued a certificate of completion at the end of this program. And if you skip any session from today, you will not participate from the graduation ceremony. And of course, you would be losing out a great deal, because today marks, the seriousness of today. From today, would get to see those who are really serious. Last weekend, we had a free session for everybody, whether you are committed to the program or not. From today, it's only meant for those who are committed to this program from start to finish. All right, so please pay attention as we unfold the program. All right, rule number 5, ensure to fill out the attendance form for every session. It is a proof that you were present during the session, and also ensure to fill out the feedback form. If it will help us give you the best service. Okay, number 6, feel free to chat your questions in the chat room. or wait for the Q&A segment to ask your questions, except when the trainer permits question during the training. So there are sometimes some trainers would prefer that you ask them questions during as they speak. So if they permit you, then you are free to ask questions intermediately. But then if that is not permitted, kindly chat your questions in the chat room. During the Q&A segment, the trainer will take a look at your questions and give answers to them. Okay, so here we have our website. Visit our website for more information about Transformation College. And of course, if you want to register to study at Transformation College come 2024, admission is on. You simply have to visit this link. We'll be sharing this link in the chat room for you to have easy access. Just click and visit. Right, so email us if you have inquiries, email us and we'll attend to them, or you can call us on this number showing on the screen. Okay, so follow us on our social media handles. So we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and of course YouTube. So we see a lot of you are already, previewing or rewatching in the recorded version of last weekend's session. And same would happen for every subsequent sessions. So after the session today, Goma, can you take care of the whiteboard? Please take care of the whiteboard. Okay. So for the on the YouTube channel, we would upload every recorded or every session, upload it, right? So you can easily click and watch and relearn all the sessions on our YouTube channel. Those of you who would ask immediately after the session for the recorded version, every Monday, upload the recorded version. So you have the whole week, Monday to Friday, to go through and rewatch or relearn what we've learned in the previous session or class. Okay, so this is our schedule, or the schedule of activities. Today is October 14th. So today we're starting personal vision and goal setting, right? And we have a distinguished speaker who will be handling that today. And then afterwards, we'd go for the quality management system, talking about ISO 9001. And when we come back from break, then we'll take the business analysis session, talking about business strategy analysis. Right, so that's for today, and the rest of it we have down here. Okay, so we'll be sharing the attendance form link, and the feedback link will be shared later on the program. So thank you very much. So I will be introducing the first speaker that we have today. Yes, so I will be sharing my screen again to. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, to handle the personal vision and goal setting session this morning, we have a distinguished speaker or trainer in the house by the name Dr. Dayo Shobowale. He is a graduate of Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and where he studied computer science and engineering. And he proceeded to the University of Ilorin for a master's degree in software engineering. And afterwards, he bagged his PhD in computer science from the Computer Science and Engineering Department, Ladoke Akintola University of Omosho, Nigeria. Dr. Shobowale is a registered engineer with Koren, and he studied law at Adeleke University, Ede. He equally succeeded at the Nigerian Law School. He was subsequently called to the Nigerian bar and registered by the Supreme Court as a barrister and solicitor of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Barrister Shobowale proceeded to Ekiti State University at Ado-Ekiti, where he bagged his master's in law. He is currently running his PhD in law at Afe Babalola University at Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State. Dr. Shobowale acquired a postgraduate diploma in education from the National Teachers Institute, Kaduna, and went further to register for a postgraduate diploma program in educational psychology at Ekiti State University. Dr. Shobowale is a bilingual who speaks English and French. He is a seasoned software programmer with proven skill in software development, website design, and database analysis, and also a network engineer. Barrister Shobowale is a member of the Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, and as an entrepreneur, he is the founding chairman of Davos Polytechnic, an academic and vocational institution which he started as a computer training center when he was a student at Obafemi Awolowo University in Ile-Ife. He is a pragmatic speaker, a life coach, a radio and television and social media analyst on economic, career, academic, religious, and political issues. He is a prolific writer. He has authored many books and is an ICT guru. Ladies and gentlemen, you can chat, you can clap, give a thunderous applause in the chat room as I welcome our first speaker this morning by name Dr. Shobowale Dayo. A round of applause in the chat room. Welcome, Doctor. You can take it up from here. We cannot hear you. Kindly unmute. Doctor, kindly unmute. You are speaking, but we cannot hear you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. We can hear you now.
Yeah, very good. It's a privilege being here today, and I'm so much excited. I felt humbled by having this invitation from this great transformation college, because I have known the college to be of good repute, and there are a lot of things that the founder has taught me in life. I must say that with all sense of humility and joy. He has taught me, not only myself, a lot of us, a lot of things in life, because we were in school together during our university days. And one thing is, what he started then, he never stopped. So it's a privilege being here. Today, we are going to be talking about, I want to share my screen with you. I wish I can. Okay. Windows. Okay, let's see. Can anyone see my screen now? No.
Not yet. It's not yet.
Okay.
I think it's still coming up.
Just a few minutes. Oh, should be here now. Okay, while I'm still trying to do that.
Okay, I can actually share from here if you have.
Please do. Please
okay,
do.
great. Okay, I'll be sharing from here in a jiffy. Okay, here we go.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, please confirm.
So today we're talking about personal vision and goal setting. Can we all see it? Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Oh, very good. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. We can hear you,
sir. Can you
see
the screen as well?
Yes,
and you can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead. Let's get back to the first page. Let's get back to the first page.
Okay.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
So today I'll be talking about vision, personal vision and goal setting. In fact, this is key, and I want to say that congratulations to all the participants of this special training, because I'm definitely sure that by the end of these 12 weeks, you will not be who you were before you joined this training. Transformation College, our business and technology, will definitely transform you from whatever your situation is at the moment to something greater and better for the future. Now, we want to look at personal vision and goal setting. This is a topic that you must have heard about. Is this not the first time you are hearing the word vision? This is not the first time you are hearing the word goal setting. But having had it, if all we've had about personal vision and goal setting has been properly implemented, firstly, before you can rightly implement, you must understand exactly what personal vision entails. And you must understand the demands of goal setting. Goal setting is different from goal writing. And that's something people don't understand. I tell people generally that if you don't set goals, you can't score goals. Goal setting is the first step before goal scoring. Nobody celebrates goal setting. Everybody celebrates goal scoring. And there is hardly any goal scored without being set. So if you want to score goals in your life, you want to score personal goals, you want to score family goals, professional goals, spiritual goals, marital goals, if you want to set career goals in your life, if you want to set goals, national goals in your life, the first step you need to do is to set those goals. And a lot of people work with general vision, institutional vision, personal vision. The next slide, please. Next slide. Edit from your hand, please. Good. So for this, the outlines, I will be defining what personal vision is, what goal setting is. I'll be explaining to you how to achieve them. Then what are the characteristics of vision? Principles of goal setting for goal scoring. Importance of vision and goal setting. The rules of goal setting before you can score goals, but then the type of goals you can set. When you get to the rules of goal setting, you will realize that we have what we call offside. So I'll be explaining some of these things to you as they relate to life. Now, let's look at the definition. What is a vision? Generally, we say that vision is the act of power of imagination when you apply vision to the future. Now, look at that. Vision to the future. You can create a mental picture that can be used to direct your actions. Now, even if I round up the class at this point, I feel satisfied. Let me explain this to you. Everybody has a future. You see, your future does not need your permission. Get it clear. This is 10:18 on the 14th of October 2023. The arrival of today and this time is without your permission. Your future does not need your permission. Are you getting that? Either you do something or otherwise, the future will definitely come. Get that clear? So but how will that future be? How will you future in your future? Hey, someone is listening to me now. You have a future that does not need your permission, but you must now feature in that future. You must feature in that future. By the time you are featuring, how well you feature in your future depends on the mental picture you create about that future and the actions you take to the action you take to implement the mental picture. When you look at mental picture, now when I was before I was 40 years, I was asking myself, what will I be at 40? I pictured it. You understand? What will I be at 40? That was a picture I was asking myself. Today, I have pictured what I will be at 60. Now, get this very clear. You see, one thing I realize is a lot of us don't understand what we mean by mental picture. Mental picture implies that you will sit down, you will look at it, you will go into that future that you are talking of. My own future that I'm looking at is by the time I clock 60. Now, at 60, during my birthday, what are the things that, who will I be? Who will be Dayo Shobo Wale? Can I shock you? What Edith read, the profile she read before I started this lecture, I wrote that profile over 5 years ago. No, about 10 years ago. I have different profiles. I have Shopawale in the future. That's how that is how to create a mental picture. I've looked at it. By the time, can I read another profile to you? I have a profile that says, can you please help me welcome Professor Engineer Dr. Dayo Shobowale, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Can you imagine that? You see, I'm talking of the future, and that is how I want to feature there. I don't dream to become the president of Nigeria. I've never created the mental picture. I'm not interested in becoming governor of any state. But what I'm interested in becoming, I have written it down. Mental picture. I've created the mental picture. I see myself. You see, the type of car I will ride, the convoy, the way to go. When I'm delivering this lecture, the lecture I'm delivering today is part of the mental picture I picked when I was in Form 3 at secondary school level. At that time, I never knew there would be anything online like this because we never had it. But I knew I was going to talk to people, lots of people. I knew I was going to be talking and talking and talking to people. I have the mental picture. And that is why each time I talk with passion because I created the picture years back. Are you getting it now? So when you talk about mental picture, and the good thing is mental picture requires no money. Do you need money to pay to think about what you want to become? And that's why I tell people when someone says, I have a dream, I want to do this, but there is no money. I say you don't. The only thing you don't need to make it in life is money. That's the only thing you don't need. The first thing you need is that mental picture. You call it daydreaming, call it anything. Create the mental picture. There are rules that follows it. But first thing first, create that mental picture. Understand that mental picture. That is how you will feature in your future. You understand? A lot of people will be alive, but they will not be living. You see, they are just existing. Are you getting it now? Nobody feels their impact. Nobody knows anything. So by the time, because a lot of people have been held down by some wrong beliefs, you say, what if I don't? What if one day I spoke to someone, I said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. He said, what if you die? I told him, oh, I will die pursuing my dream. And he looked at me and said, yes. Then I asked another question. I said, darling brother, what if I don't die? Oh, so I will now be on earth unfulfilled. I'll be on earth regretting. I'll be on earth asking myself questions that what exactly is my purpose for living? So those are the things that we are looking at. We are looking at how you can now prepare to function in your future properly so that you will not be, by the time the future comes, and the future comes without your knowledge. Let me pick a word from one of the holy books. The Bible says the night cometh. You see, that means it doesn't need your permission. The night will come. Either you agree with the night or not, it will come. So what vision is about the future? You see, so when you see it, that's why vision, you can see what by the time you are driving, everybody looks forward. Everybody looks forward. Vision, you look at the future. It's about the future. It will induce you to act towards a common goal. That is a particular thing. You cannot get into your vehicle, start that vehicle without knowing where you are going. It's pure rubbish. As someone asks where you go, say, I don't know. Provides a sense of direction, and it's important for strategy and planning. You cannot say you don't know, because for you to get into that vehicle, you must have a vision of the future you want to attain. And that future is the destination you're talking of. Examples, some people, we have companies, BBC will tell you, I want to be the most creative organization in the world. Disney says to make people happy, and that's what they are working towards. There are a lot of cartoons there, and Google will say we want to provide access to the world's information just in a click. And that's why today we said Google has fulfilled the promise in that the prophecy in Psalm, where the Bible says, I have more understanding than my teachers. And here at Transformation College, our vision is to be the number one educational institution in West Africa with regard to equipping people with transformational knowledge, which we are doing now, skills and capabilities. Can you see the vision? That vision, to accomplish that vision, to realize that vision, is why this 12 weeks program is set. Let's move to the next slide. The next slide. Yeah. Now, but when you have a vision, you pay no money, you do nothing, you write nothing. When we talk about creating a mental picture requires that you sit down, you start thinking. By the time I am 60, I want to be a senior advocate of Nigeria. I've looked at the day when they announced the ones for this year. I was excited, and I told myself it will soon be my turn. It will soon be my turn. You understand? You see, that's a mental picture. A mental picture. By the time, at the time I looked at myself, I'm going to set up an institution in Nigeria. I've always had it in mind. I wanted it. Are you getting it? That one is now accomplished. The mental picture. The mental picture I hold now is how that school will be. Are you getting it now? So you look at that, and I look at myself. How much can I go in terms of accomplishing things? The mental picture. I want to go on radio, go on television, come on programs like this, and speak to people. The mental picture. Having created that mental picture, there's another step. That is goal setting. If you create the mental picture and you stop at creating mental picture, you will never realize what you want to do in life. That's the reason why you see a lot of people, they just bag and everything is there with them. They cannot realize what they want to do. Are you getting it? But now we are looking at what's the next step. After thinking of what you want to be at 60, the next step is to set the goals. When you want to set, there are questions like, are you set? That means, are you ready? Goal setting. You want to set the goals. There is nobody who sets things without removing some other things. People don't understand goal setting. They think goal setting is goal writing. No, it's not. Goal setting means that you sit down, you will now arrange the goals. Which one will come before the other? Goal setting. You need to set it. When you set, you don't set a single thing. Please don't tell me you want to have a single goal. Now, let me explain goal setting to you. I want to become a senior advocate of Nigeria. I am a computer engineer. In Nigeria, no computer engineer has ever become a senior advocate of Nigeria. What am I going to do? Now, I have a PhD in computer engineering. Now, I'm a lawyer. You understand? So because of where I am going, setting of goals, I need LLB, that's the first degree in law. I need LLM. I need PhD, goal setting, strategic planning. Now, I've already completed my LLB, completed my LLM. I have started, or let me say I'm starting this month, my PhD in law. Are you getting that? So two-legged. So the PhD in law, the PhD in computer engineering. So I now come up as an ICT lawyer. So there are two types of SAN, the ones that are professional, practicing, and the ones that are academic. You understand? I cannot be a professional lawyer where are we going to, but where it is now, you must be at the Supreme Court. That's the requirement for that. But for academic SAN, once you can do some publications, you are a professor. So I am working towards becoming professor of ICT law. Are you getting that now? So becoming a professor of ICT law with 2 PhDs, one in law, one in ICT. Are you getting the concept? And already I've written a book, Engineering Law in Nigeria. I've written another one on cyber crime. You understand? Cyber bullying and all this and cyber laws generally. You see how it is. I now my master students, PhD students, they work on judicial decision support system. You see it, goal setting. Those things are said. You don't just create a mental picture of becoming a senior advocate of Nigeria as an engineer without setting the goals that will get you there. Goal setting. So in goal setting is the process of identifying something you want to accomplish and establishing measurable. You see, measurable. If you can't explain how you want it done, then there is no way you will not complain that it is not being done. Let me tell you something about life. By the time life will be ending, 2 things are going to happen. You understand? But okay, I will round up with that. So it now says, maybe your dream is to become a teacher, musician, or physical therapist. You must have something. The mental picture you created, the vision you have. Each one of these dreams involves setting and reaching small and big goals. You see, I have completed my master's in law. It is not when I want and for you to be a SAN, you must have spent 10 years as a lawyer minimum, and you must not fail in paying your dues on yearly basis. So there was a particular year I was short on cash. Someone was wondering, why are you rushing? And we have a deadline. I borrowed money to pay, not because I needed it that year, but because I needed it in 7 years' time. You see, there are some things you must do. Sorry, at times I borrow from the Holy Book. The Bible says at a time that Jesus need pass through Samaria. You see, where he was going wasn't Samaria, but if he doesn't pass through Samaria, he can't get to Jerusalem. That's what we are talking about. There are some things you must do. You don't just wish, I want to become the best, I want to have the best petroleum company in Nigeria, and you know nothing about petroleum, you know no degree, no knowledge, nothing at all. And that's when they say if witches are horses, beggars would have ridden them. Are you getting it now? So you need to understand the goal setting is a process. It is tasking. You have to painstakingly set the goals. Where must I need pass through to get to where I am going? What must I need to do to get to where I'm going? Maybe your dream is to become a teacher. You know, you look at it. When you set goals, you take control of your lives. One of the things you don't do when you set goal is you don't do anything that contradicts the goal or your work direction. Goals provide you with focus. The decisions you make and actions you take should bring you closer to achieving those goals. You see, the decisions you make, the actions you take. I've shared this with you for my personal life. The decision you make, you want to go into sports, are you getting it? And you don't know anything about football, about basketball, about volleyball. You want to go into music, you don't know the musicians, you don't know their music, you don't understand lyrics, you can't play any instrument. So what are you doing? Your decision will now go, how do you develop a vision and set goals? Of course, there are processes, and you cannot jump the gun. You look at that picture, can you see it? You can't jump the gun. Can you see that picture? It takes a process. You see the dot, you see the settings. Okay, if it goes there, it goes there. You see, this takes a process. Do you know that if you wonder why the Europeans are doing well in football, but at our own local level, you discover that one of the things we do when we want to play football is that we sit down and all we do is okay, you go there 5x5 plays 5, so I stay at the back. That's the minimal goal setting. But when you see professional coaches, you see them with their drawing board. they begin to set goals. If it goes here, it goes there. Do you understand? Goal setting, that plan. What are the things to do? There are 7 steps here which we are going to discuss. Think about the results you want to see. You imagine that. You first think about the result you want to see. You get it. You think about the result you want to see. If you do, that's the mental picture. You have to create it. If you don't see the end, please don't begin. You must understand. I always tell people 2024 is here. By January 20, in fact, we are even going January. In the next, by first week or second week in November, if you call me and ask me for 2024, I will give you my list. You must see the end. You must understand. If you don't plan it, you see, a lot of us don't understand how these things run. That is why we live our life unplanned. That's why anything can just pop up and we don't understand. If you don't have a plan, that's why we generally say, if you don't, anybody who fails to plan has planned to fail. Planning cannot live your life, either with your choice or without. If you fail to plan, then it's still a plan. You have planned to fail. Are you getting it? So don't expect things to just happen. Brothers and sisters, participants of this training, please, I plead with you today, ensure that you follow principles and don't expect miracles. Miracles are divine. They will always come. Principles are human. That's your responsibility. Stop disturbing yourself by what God will do. It cannot fail. Get yourself engaged in what you should do. Create smart goals. When you ask someone, what's your goal? And he mentions it, you will not even be moved. You won't be moved. I just told you now. If I tell you one of the things I asked my firstborn to check, I said, check the Guinness Book of Record. Who is the most read person in Nigeria? Because I was like, already now, as I speak to you, I have about 7 degrees, and I'm like, if I can get 10 or 15 degrees, will I have broken any record? I don't really believe in doing something for long. That people normally say, yeah, this is the person who has who can cook for 1,200 hours, 150 hours. That is not the only thing I see people testing there is ability to stay awake for long, not ability to cook well. I prefer to be the best cook than the longest cooking person in the industry. So that's the way I view things. You understand? I prefer to achieve something and say, okay, this is it. And this is the person someone just broke a record now. The person who can read loud for the longest number of hours. No. I prefer to make impact while talking than just talking for long hours. Talking for long hours is just for saying, I won't sleep, I'll keep talking, even if I'm talking nonsense. You understand? That's my view. I might be wrong. Now, you see, what I'm saying is create smart goals. If I tell you now, just 2 days ago, I paid for my form to study psychology at one university. Are you getting it? So already, I'm a lawyer, BSc Computer Engineering, MSc Computer Science, PhD Computer Engineering, LLB, LLM, postgraduate diploma in education. Are you getting it? I've started my PhD in law. That's working on the 7th one. And now postgraduate diploma in psychology. That's the 8th one. I'm still working on getting masters in maybe in education. So I'm looking at having 5 masters and possibly 3 PhD. That's a given. I'm not going back on it. And I want to achieve that in the next 5 years. That to me is smart, but it's not compulsory you do that. Now you can look at it and say, this is what I do. I want to create this software. I want to create this. I want to build this. I want to do that. Everybody must have something. You don't come to teach us goal setting without telling us how you are setting it in your life. That's something. One of the reasons why I'm reading that much, psychology, as an educationist, if I don't understand with the mental health issue, the psychology of my students, It's not good enough. So I have that added. You understand? I'm doing some things on forensic. As a lawyer and an engineer, a computer engineer for that matter, understanding forensic is necessary. So you look at it that they are linked together. Smart goals. Smart goals. It's not ordinary goals. Now you write your goals down. What the profile that Edith read, that's the way I write my goals. I have the one for another 8 years. That same profile. The one for 8 years is written down. The way to be read. And is this, and can you join me welcoming Professor, Engineer, Dr. Shobale, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Are you getting it? That must happen. 7, 8 years. It must happen. I must have become a prof. You see, you write, don't imagine them alone. Write them down. I have them written. I have them. In fact, do you know, if I tell you this, one of the best things you can do is to write down your obituary. If you can write the obituary, your great granddaughter, grandson will read at your burial, you have made it. Just write it down. I did that when we were in OAU at Angola Hall. Anderson will remember. I did that in OAU. I didn't understand, but I've read a lot about those, so I wrote down some things. You see, what I wrote down then, a lot have changed. A lot. But one thing I realized that my communication remains. That's why we say when we tell you to write down, it's not about the plans you have written, but the process of planning you have learned. We are not saying that it will not change. We are not saying that it will change. No. Are you getting it? We are not saying that things will not change. You must write it down, put it down, write down your obituary. When you have written it down, and anything not in your obituary, you will not get involved when you are alive. What you don't want said about you, please don't do it. It becomes a guide. Create an action plan. I just told you now, create an action plan. Your action plan must be daily. Most of you now, what you do between now and December 31st, you don't have it written down. You must have it written down. 12 weeks program, 12 Saturdays is an action plan. In fact, if you don't know about action plan, Transformation College will teach you about action plan. Edit is a special action planner. If you don't know anybody, I know that one. And the CEO, perfect. Because everything that needs to be done, when I couldn't log in, by the time I logged on, she has started reading my profile. Action plan. This is what I want to do between this time and this time. Action plan. Create it. Look, time waits for no man. Therefore, no man should wait for time. If you can't just wait for time. If time isn't going to wait for me, why am I going to wait for time? Are you getting it? Either I do something or not. It's already 10:42. Are you getting it? 12 p.m. it will come. 5 p.m. will come. Either you do something or not. Time does not wait for you. The night cometh. So you mustn't wait for time. You use time. Use time. Don't talk to time. You use time. If you don't use time, you lose time. You create an action plan. Then you create a timeline. I want it done within this period. You see what I've told you? By this time next year, I will have been through with my PhD psychology. I'm starting MSc psychology. So I've already written it. By the time I will be completing my PhD law, I will have completed my MSc psychology, completed my MSc education. You understand? I complete my PhD law. I pick up those 2 PhDs in education and in psychology. Are you getting it? So by the time I will be done, by the time I will be becoming a son, already about 12 degrees. You see, when I put down, that's why I don't go into politics. I hate begging people for votes. All I'm mentioning to you now, I don't need any human being to achieve them. The only person I need is myself and my God. Is it? I need to be disciplined, set a timeline, take action, reevaluate and assess your progress. Can you imagine that? When you reevaluate your progress, look at it. Am I achieving what I said I was going to achieve? You ask yourself. When I reevaluated, I went to a particular university, a government university. They said, no, I should come back and do direct entry for psychology. I said, no, now, with all these degrees, PhD should be okay. They said, no, I just left them. I went to a private university. They now looked at me, with this, it should be good, PhD will be okay. That's going to be your supervisor. We take some undergraduate courses and make sure you come to that. I told them that's no problem. They said, how do you plan to come to class? I told them, they said, wow, this is wonderful. And my interview was done online. You get what I'm talking of. You reassess. Don't tell me that it's not working. Some of you, you have loads of reasons and excuses why things will not work. Let me tell you something. When you reassess, well, a lot of people, if I tell you this, you'll be shocked. I went to register for ICANN. My ICANN class, the lecturer wasn't coming the way I wanted. That was why I switched to law. You know, and what happened? It's so simple. I was like, what's in it? Why can't I become a chartered accountant as an engineer? You see what's funny? You understand? And seriously, it's not funny because I still told one of my students that when is your next ICANN exam? It's something I can write. And each time I'm planning to write an exam, I also plan to fail the exam. I told the boy, I said, I can't fail more than 3 times. I'll get it right. I want to lay record. I'm telling you, this thing is possible. I can be a chartered accountant, I can be an engineer, and also become a lawyer. Then I become the first Nigerian to have the three. Then my name goes to the Guinness Book of Record. So I have a legacy to leave for my family. Yamaha is a family name. Suzuki is a family name. Why can't your name, your surname become something that's celebrated? What are the characteristics of vision? Is that the next slide? Is that the next slide? Okay.
Yes, please. The next slide.
The characteristics of vision. If you want to, there are 5 main characteristics. Yes. Okay, specific and measurable, inspiring and motivating, flexible and adaptable. You can see what the characteristics of vision. I've told you now. You can hear me now. Can you tell me yours? By the time this program is, by the time this class is over, and this program is over, can you arrange a program between yourself and sit down and ask yourself, what exactly is my vision? Are you inspired by your vision? You yourself, are you inspired? When you hear, by the time, can you write your profile and let it be read in the next 5 years? If we are inviting you for this same program as a guest speaker in 5 years' time, what will be said about you? Please tell me. I wasn't the proprietor of a polytechnic. To be a proprietor of a polytechnic in Nigeria means that just like the state government owns a polytechnic, the federal government owns a federal polytechnic, you, a personal government, owns your own polytechnic. You are not getting it. You go through the same process the government went through, get their polytechnic accredited. When the polytechnic people came to my school for accreditation, someone said, you cannot be a rector as well once you are a proprietor. When I got to, I now understood what they were saying, that now you are at the level of the government. The government cannot be rector, they appoint rector. You to go and appoint a rector. Are you getting what I'm talking of? What do you want to become? What legacy are you leaving? I told someone that even if I died today, the community where I built the polytechnic, they will celebrate my death, even if it is today. The question is, what legacy are you living? You have to think about this. Inspiring, motivating, flexible. That's where some of us are too rigid. The way we want it. No, I told you, I started with ICANN. When it wasn't going, I went into law. I finished law. I'm still going back to the ICANN. I don't have a choice. Even as I'm telling you now, you see, now all the ones I have achieved, 7 degrees. Can you imagine? Already in the bag. So I don't need to, and if the ones I've started in the next 2-3 years, another 3 will be in the bag. Because it now becomes easy. Why? Because I started it and it has continued. Realistic and achievable, it's achievable, but you don't put it in the bag at a time. Then you align with your values, now your value system. I told my students were surprised. I told them in class, these are the things you will do, your values. I am sacking a staff on Monday because we caught him, one of the security men, we caught him smoking weed. I won't allow you get into value. What brought you into this place is value system. How many people are on Zoom now watching porn music, porn videos, and the rest? You are here listening to a class. You understand? You are here listening to a class. 12 weeks, what you'll be able to say. Value system. What's your value? What are the principles of goal setting? You have to live. What does your life look like now and in 10 years' time? About that question. What are your important relationships? Please don't toy with this. Relationship, what brought me to Transformation College-based relationship. The CEO, we were classmates in OAU. What God used him to do in my school, I will never forget in my life. Relationship. Please choose your friends. You cannot choose your colleagues, but choose your friends. Whatsoever you will become in future, you're already becoming now. When you see the trade, you choose your friend. Relationship, please. Relationship goes beyond husband and wife, fiancé and fiancé. All those ones are just emotional attachment. Relationship talks about who do you relate with. With all these online people, there are a lot of people that today is the first day I'm seeing Edith's face. But if I have any challenge in an area of planning, I'll send information to her. She will send information to me. Build relationship. Stop looking for all these emotional disturbances. Some of you, I believe, well, some people will have girlfriend, assistant girlfriend, deputy girlfriend, and you will now be calling 10 different people. And some will say, "You didn't call me. You didn't call me yesterday night. You called me." Those things. There is nothing that distracts your vision and your life more than all these unnecessary, useless, emotional attachments. In fact, I don't like calling this relationship because it is distractionship. It's not relationship. You are not relating with anybody. You are just being distracted. Let me tell you something. You are all my God. Take this home. The same strength you need to succeed in life, to score a goal, is the same strength you need to get involved in all these funny things. When I see people sitting down with some films, some programs, I look at them and I say, this person needs some training in life. You need to. This is discipline. I don't pity anybody when it comes to this. According to principles of goal setting. Now, another thing is clarity, challenge, commitment, task complexity, feedback. That feedback, task complexity. Overly complex goals may become overwhelming. And you know what makes it goes to be overly complex? When you do nothing in January and you want to do everything in October, you are going to have a problem. It's very easy to set goals. To arrange them is a problem. No, it's very easy to write goals. Sorry, it's very easy to think of setting goals. If you understand what setting goals is, you will not get into task complexity. Because when you set goals, there are some things if you don't do in January, you cannot go forward in February. But because God is merciful, everybody keeps waking up and sleeping. When this class opens by 9:30, what that means is that between 9:30 and 10, get everything ready. You understand? So principles of goal setting again is make it small. When we say make it small, not the goal in its entirety. At per meal, you have what I told you. I can't start PGD psychology and start MS psychology at the same time and PhD psychology at the same time in 5 years' time. Over the next 5 years, this is what we'll achieve. What am I doing this year? This year, PhD law starting, PGD psychology starting, master's education. If I'm thinking of dropping master's in education, because I have to look at the venue, but PGD psychology, PhD law starting. If PhD law doesn't start this year, PhD will take 3 years, and SAN is going to come in another 6 or 7 years. I've planned to apply for SAN the 6 years, fail it, apply again. Before I apply 3 times, I will pass it. Failure is part of it, risk taking. Then write it down with that. Please tell a friend. But my friend, I'm telling you. Tell me yours. The first friend you should tell is yourself. Don't tell a friend goal because you want to show him he's stupid. No. Don't tell a friend goal out of pride. No, that's not telling a friend. Tell a friend so that you can say, who do men say that I am? Who do you say that I am? Tell a friend. The CEO of this company knows virtually all my plans. I've told him he's a friend. When I was told about this program, I am part of it. I'm a friend. Tell a friend. I'm not telling a friend out of pride. You are not telling a friend out of trying to look like a big boy for the friend to know, forget when that boy happens. You may never happen. You tell a friend so that the friend can correct you. Don't tell a friend who is lower to you. Tell a friend who can correct you, who can guide you, who can help you. Tell a friend. Check in. Sometimes life will get in a way and create roadblocks, blocking the path as you go. You regularly pursue sometimes to check in on your progress. You understand? And also appreciate yourself. You see, you know that I don't celebrate birthdays. In my house, what is Happy New Year? It's Happy New Year. If nothing is happening in your life, there is nothing happening in the year. It's just Saturday following Friday and Sunday coming afterward. But Happy New Year. The day I obtain a degree or I score a goal or I've achieved something, I've written a book, I will give myself a victory. Check in. Next slide. Check in, please. Now, what do we have here? Okay. We have without an end goal. You having without an end goal, destination in mind, you won't have a clear or defined path. Never. Vision provides that. To achieve your vision or goal, you can start by setting small, attainable goals as stepping stones. Each relatively little bit of success will help to continue propelling you forward on your bigger journey. Can you see it? Now, you see, seriously, I must tell you this fact. Let me tell you this so that you not think I'm superhuman. I'm not. When I got to 400 level law, I decided to quit. It's not easy. I decided to quit. I decided to quit. I remember my friend, Barrister Guinea was saying, no, you make it now. I said, no, it's not necessary again. I told them I wasn't going to law school because I was like, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. How do I cope? But thanks for relationship. People like CEO, some of my friends sponsored me throughout law school. Now I spent over 5 million because I had to private school to study law. I've made times 20 calculate that money, the same law. What I did as a lawyer in 2 years, I didn't make it as a lawyer in years. You understand? You know the reason. It's not that law is better than engineering, but until your potential collaborates with your profession, poverty will be your lot. But when your profession is in tandem with your potential, prosperity cannot be solved. You suppose specific, measurable. Discuss the next slide. It will not be stopped. You must get it. Your potential and your profession must collaborate for your prosperity to come up. Your potential and next slide. Your potential and your profession must come together for your prosperity to come. I've spoken to you about short-term goals to arrange it. Long-term goals, that is when you're, how old are you now? If you are 30, what will you be? If you are early 30, what will you be at 40? If you are early 40, what will you be at 50? If you are in early 50, what will you be at 60? Your long-term goals, just give yourself like 10 years. My next target is what are you going to be every 10 years? Short-term goals, middle-term goals. You must write them down. Don't just think them. Write them down. If you are truly ready, it must be written. If you are truly ready to written, personal goals. These are goals I written. We've spoken about that. Next slide, please. The next slide, please. Next slide. So now professional goals. I've spoken about that. Personal, what you want to achieve, professional. Financial goals. That's why I personally have a weakness. I'm still coming down to Lagos to personally with my very good friend, brother, the CEO of Transformative College, to teach me about financial goals. This has always been, I don't usually think about money. My wife has abused them. You understand? It's not easy. I don't think of how to be a billionaire. You know, I don't normally think about it. I always think of how to be. For financial goals, you must think of it. The reason why I don't think about this is because I know that most of the things I achieved through this one assist you with this one assist you. And you must have good character because I can tell you that when you are a very great career without good character will lead to great loss or collapse. Character is key. Character is key. You don't steal people's money. You don't do this. You don't. Character is toy with it. Career is secondary. Character is key. Academic goals, I've spoken about that. And social goals, your family. Yes, family, you have to think about it. You have to ensure that things work well. So those are the things. Now, see, this is the next area. I will leave that. You write the vision, my goal, my vision board. Can you see this? This is one of the things I love about Transformative College. Can you see this plan coming up? Achievement day. I just think this is it. This is it. Create an action plan. How do you want to do it? I will round up by saying this, my brothers and my sisters, the participants of the program. Today is a burial ceremony, and you and I were at the burial ceremony, and they are about we are asked they started checking the cup. Now I just passed in front of the cups. It's your turn to check the cup. Just open you open the hell on the face of the cup, and you discover something shocking. You ask me what you are doing in that at your what will your grandchild read about you. Thank you and I remain Engineer Dr. Barrister Dayo Shubawale. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. And I think everyone can give an appreciation in form of a hand clap in the chat room. Thank you so much for that very educative session on goal setting and vision. Okay, so we'll quickly go to the chat room to look at the questions that we have already there. And for those who would like to speak and ask your question, you are free to unmute your mic and ask your question while we go to the chat room to take questions before we introduce the next speaker. So quickly, if you have a question, I think we saw somebody who put up her hand earlier. Okay, the hand is down. So we'll look at the chat room for questions. Let's see. All right, I just see appreciation and appreciation there. That's very encouraging. I believe everybody got value.
Okay, someone is asking a question here. What's the essence of sharing your vision? Now, let me quickly answer that. The essence of sharing your vision is for you to correct your errors. You don't just share your vision anyhow. People from the Yoruba clan we need to listen very well. And I know that the questionnaire is also a Yoruba person. You know why I said so? There's an adage that in Yoruba that says that when your glory is coming up, you cover it. And there is this concept that whatever is district is better. But now, what you advise you measure your goals and they are not within your control. Please, there is no goals that are not within your control. At the beginning, you may not be able to have the goals all at your call and beckon, but just break them down. That's the essence. Now, when it comes to why you share your goals, when you share it, you don't just share with anybody. Now, we are a college, a training. Edit is there, the coordinators are there. You can share your goals with them. You are not sharing your goals. It's not as if you are going to call a conference and tell your colleagues to sit down. As a lecturer today, I don't share my goals with everybody in school. No, envy will come in, but gossip will come in. I've shared my goals with you to motivate you. People like the CEO of Transformation College, I share my goals with him to ask him for advice because I know he's highly knowledgeable. Are you getting it? So sharing your goals is to guide yourself and to ensure that you achieve those goals. Because sometimes when you don't say those things, if you don't do them, you don't feel the pressure. Say it out. I've told you now that I must become a son. You know, the pressure is there. The pressure is there. When I became a lawyer, one of my students posted something on Facebook. that you told us this thing 6 years ago in class, and myself and my friend laughed at you that this man talks too much. I shared the goal. I put myself under that pressure. When I got to 400 level and I wanted to drop off, one of the things that kept me going is, what will I go back home to say? There are trying times. The shared goals keeps you firing. I've never had a specific goal. I love writing, but I've never seen it as a potential career. You see, you have to cast your bread upon many waters. They will come back. Chukwe Buka, are you getting it now? You see, writing is a career. But one of the things most of you don't understand is that this idea of goals, vision, first, you must know who you are. Like, that's another topic for another day. You must understand who you are. The reason why I have said all those things I said is because I've discovered who I am. I developed myself, and I'm now demonstrating myself. You need to understand. Setting a goal without financial, can we manage that? You don't need a dime to set a goal. You don't need a dime to think of your life in the next 10 years. You see, achieving your goals will come also through good character, relationship. I just told you, going to law school, I wanted to sell my car. I had nothing on me. As at the time I was in law school, I was still owing my university. I took Lapo. You see, that's why I'm a very good example for you, because there is no money. There is no money. The CEO of Transformative College was part of those God used to help my vision. These people will come to you to assist you once they know your character, your passion. Leave money, set your goals. Imagine. Thank you so much, guys. Very informative. What should we do? Is it a must that is in plan continuing his goals and telling that like COVID-19? Thank you, darling brother. This is what we call force majeure in law. You see, in Nigeria, there is something we call risk taking, and we talk about preparing for risk management. Risk management is part of goal setting. Are you getting it? So, but risk is never the order of the day. We all have. I told people that if Nigerians were they want to make a vehicle, they will not include extra tire. They would rather add anointing oil, because we don't prepare for risk. You must. That's why you have insurance and different things. But one thing I tell people is when we talk about goal setting, risk management is usually the last thing to discuss, because it's never the order of the day. Everybody knows there is an express road from Ibadan to Lagos. Everybody knows that. There are accidents on that road and people have died. But you and I know that more people have passed through that road without accident than those who have accident. The percentage of evil in anything is usually less than 1%. That's the truth. So I always tell people, don't dwell on 1% and leave 99. I have a vision, but I see the universe and the way the world works, going against it, it's not possible. That vision, that's why you share goals. Share it with Edith, share it with the CEO of Transformation College. That vision, you might be missing something, you might need to adjust something. Your vision cannot go against the world. Okay, very educated session without financial background. Do you expect me to set a goal? I've answered that. Finance not needed. Goal setting compulsory. Has that been a time? I once sold ice water and ice block at Iwo Road in Ibadan. I drove cab for 7 years. Are you getting it now? I take loan. When I was doing the polytechnic, I took loan from everywhere. Fair money, cash. I want to relate to your level. I took money from cash, from fair money. I took money from Pampe. So I'm not, for me to be mentioning those things. There is one that banned me. I've deleted them from after paying that money. Right. I took money from banks, easy money, easy cash. You understand? I want to pay for the CFO of Polytechnic land now. Before I start this, I just told my wife that check what real money can give you so that we can make deposit. When we start having money from people, that is at this point before I started this class. Once I'm out of this class, I'll call my wife. How much did you borrow? How much did they give you? Is it 100,000? Is it 200,000? My wife, we are paying a loan of 600,000 that we took from their money. don't that's water. There's one thing you can tell me. You must make it. You must make it. Should age be considered when setting goals? Definitely. You cannot be 90 years and tell you want to become a medical doctor. Age will be considered, but not if you can type this, there is no condition of age. I cannot become a vice chancellor in my life. I've told people, except they appoint me on except I go on appointment, because I'm not yet a professor at this age, and I have to be a professor for maybe 7 or 8 years before I can apply for vice chancellorship. So why would I waste my life on that? That cannot work. I throw it off. That's why you reassess yourself. Thank you, sir. What you want to be as your mother finished kind of giving it. Okay. I've answered that. What else? How do I manage my goals? Kindly, how do I manage my goals when I have so much financial need and put under pressure? You see, most of the things you call financial need, write them down. If they are 10, if you can be very careful and calculate financial lecture, I know that Edith and the CEO will still arrange that. If you can be calculative, you only need to solve one and it will lessen the problem of the rest. Then don't put yourself under financial pressure by living above your means. A lot of us spend more than we earn, and that is where the challenge is. Don't compare yourself with anyone, please, and you always enjoy your life. Manage it the way you have it. Are you getting it now? When you want to have money, will I tell you, talking to you, that the car that I am using now, I bought it for over 8 years. If you see my car now, as we speak, I'll be leaving from the state I'm talking to you to another state in another 1 or 2 hours. My car, we need to go and buy engine oil to add, to just gauge the engine, because my car is completely gone. But why with that car I built a polytechnic that worth more than that is in millions? Can you imagine? So it depends on, that's why I do pity people. It depends on your choice. You have to make sacrifices. You look at your parents, look at your background, look at where you are coming from. I told you where I borrowed loan from. I took loan from different places. There are friends that can assist. I go to them, assist. If it is first loan, if it is gift. I wrote to some people, I need books. Some people gave me books. Some gave me computers. I'm not proud. One of the things that kills some of us is pride. I have a friend, he's very wealthy, he puts on the shoe he has lots of shoes. My darling brother, why do you have this number of shoes? Say, look, I'm not putting on that one again. This one I want to bring them. And I started wearing them till this morning that I'm talking to you. Some of you cannot, no, you are so proud. We are so good this. No. I know my level. I know. That's why you are where you are. That's why you are where you are. So a lot of things, we are the ones at fault. When we get into your personal life counseling, you'll see that all you need to do is to readjust. You are richer than you can imagine. But look at some of you are using iPhone and you have low income. You have problems. It's iPhone. It's not as if you are using it to make money. You buy phone of millions, but you don't have money to buy card. You say there is no data. You see, I tell people, why don't you have high income and use a low phone? So that by the time you have you grow yourself, your income can, if your phone gets lost and you cry because you cannot replace it the next day, then the phone you are using is above you. If you are going to weep at it, should be because of loss of data. Some of you, the wristwatch you wear, that wristwatch is costlier than my car. And that's where the problem lies. So there is no financial need at all other than for you to be more disciplined. More disciplined. Okay, I think not okay. Okay, I think they are not talking
There's
about
one question.
attendance.
Yes, there's a question. It says, what would be your advice when the measure for your goals are not within your control? What would be your advice when the measure for your goals are not within your control? Oh, okay. Let's give Doctor a few minutes. All right, so while we wait for that, kindly, we've shared the link to the assessment form. Okay, so please ensure to take the assessment for this session. All right, and as well as the attendance, fill up the attendance form and take the assessment. Okay, so we will take down your questions and we'll answers to them. We'll chat answers to them on the chat box. All right. So without waste of time, we'll move over to the next speaker. And we have another interesting speaker that will handle the second session, talking about the ISO 9001 quality management system. All right. So we have us on the call this morning, Mrs. Olushola Obelusi, right? She is a resourceful human resource practitioner with over 8 years of experience, a problem solver, service-focused, intuitive, analytical, creative, result-oriented, and practical, with a passion for sourcing, engaging, and developing talents, optimum performance. Ladies and gentlemen, give you a round of applause in the chat room as we bring up Mrs. Olushola Abelushi to take us on the next session, talking about ISO 9001 quality management system. A round of applause. Mrs. Olushola, you can take it up from here.
All right, good morning, everybody. I hope everyone can hear me.
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you, and I think everybody can hear you as well.
Okay, good morning. My name is Olushola Agbelusi. Thank you, Edith, for doing a good job with the name. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and so great to be here today. Quickly, because we have quite some things to go through or talk about. I would like us to go through the course while I share my screen. So today we'll be actually talking about ISO 9000. And it's just the introduction is ISO 9000 and what the benefit is to us. So in a bit, please. All right. So ISO 9000, everybody, so many people are familiar with ISO 9001. And if we, even people, a lot of us that have not even heard about it before, there's a tendency that we've probably seen it on maybe packaging of food. We see, so they said compliance with ISO 9001, ISO 9001, 2015. We see a lot of all these numbers on food packaging, on documents. We don't even know what it means. So that is what actually we'll be talking about, because it applies to everyone across board. It applies to every industry. It applies to every trade. It applies to every ministry as it is. People think that it's just for manufacturing industries, or it's just for maybe the corporate organization. They cut across board, cut across every one of us that is seated on this call. Either be it that we have an organization that we work with, or there is somebody, or there is a retail outlet that we run, or the possibility that we as individuals on the road, our careers, this applies to every one of us. So I hope we can all see my screen.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. I expect.
Okay,
Can we see
it's coming up now. Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
All right. So quickly, for everyone that understands ISO 9000, like I said, we are very familiar with ISO 9001. However, it goes beyond this. ISO 9000 is a family of standards of quality management standards, and they all refer to, or they are particular about different things. So, for example, if you really want to understand ISO 9000 as it is, then you'd you really you want to understand ISO 9001 fully, then you have to actually embed the other family members. We have the ISO 9001, which is what most people are familiar with. But the ISO 9000 actually provides fundamentals and vocabulary for ISO 9001. So if you're going to the ISO 9001, which is the requirements for quality management as it is important that you actually understand the vocabulary that is used, and ISO 9000 provides that means of understanding. Also, ISO 9002 actually provides guidelines for those of how you are going to apply ISO 9001. ISO 9003 helps when you're actually talking about, it provides a model for quality assurance, especially when how do I call it now? When when the business actually has nothing to do with processes and everything, or maybe the business is just particular about testing of its products and services to meet the requirements of the standard. That's what the 9003 is about. Then ISO 9004 provides guidance to achieve continued success in the quality management system as it is. Okay, so if we look at ISO 9001 as it is, I said it provides the requirements for a quality management system. And this quality management system, the ISO 9001 amidst all this family of quality management standards I've mentioned, is the only one that we can actually certify to, be it an organization or an individual. That's why you find some people say, oh, they actually want to actually take a course in ISO 9001 so that they can actually be able to probably be implementers or be auditors of a system, management system. Or an organization can decide to actually certify to ISO 9001 to ensure that it gains competitive advantage, or is able to satisfy its customers, or is able to actually streamline their business processes, making sure that their processes are run concurrently, and they can actually have repeatable processes that will guarantee quality and customer satisfaction for them. Also, the ISO 9001 can actually be a requirement also for maybe regulatory organizations. That, okay, for example, what is very familiar, like I said, you will see this ISO 9001 on so many food packaging, because it is a requirement by the organization saying that you have followed set standards of ensuring that whatever you're providing or whatever you're producing within your industry actually it goes through the quality processes, or maybe you imbibe quality practices within your organization in delivering your services as a thing. Okay, quickly, what is the quality management system? We've talked about ISO 9001 setting the requirements and criteria for the quality management system. But what is actually the quality management system? What is a quality management system? A management system itself is actually a set of policies or procedures that is put in place by an organization to ensure that they set objectives and their objectives meet intended results. However, quality management system would now be setting objectives for quality, meaning that a collection of policies and processes or procedures that the organization will actually put together or define or determine and implement to ensure that they can provide services and provide goods that can meet customer requirements, meet customer expectation, and like even exceed it, right? It also involves maybe the assignment of responsibilities and authorities to achieve these particular objectives. I hope you understand. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Because I was hearing an echo, so I needed to be sure I'm on board. All right, so the quality management system helps organizations, not just organizations. Okay, when I say organizations, so it goes beyond the likes of a GTB or a corporate or a Shell or a Chevron. It goes further to even small scale businesses, goes back to our churches, our ministries, our mosques. It goes further down to maybe our retail shops. It goes further down to maybe our barbing salon, as in every day-to-day organization or business. So when we put in or when we implement a quality management system, it helps us to coordinate the activities of that business, to be able to put it in the right direction, to know, okay, these steps, this is what I need to do to ensure that I meet customer expectations or I fulfill the requirements of my customers. So quality management system is there to ensure that you provide the right quality and you can even stay in business. So there are times that we see some churches. I do hear some. I'm just going to use this because I do hear. Okay, let me even use this. I did hear the conversation about. I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and I said somebody will actually sit down in a shop from morning to night and actually say, "Oh, I didn't make a sale," and then I'm like, exactly what have you done throughout the day to make sales? How have you approached the sales? People have worked in front of your shop, and maybe they've tried to have a conversation, or they were even passing by. And how have you reacted to the person walking by? Have you even tried to say, "Oh, please, I sell this," or you were harsh to the person? And we see so many people like that. They are harsh to people that come into their shops because they tend to feel that this person is not the person I want to sell to you. And you might be wrong, because if you put the right things in place, then you will know how to attract the right customers, to even determine the requirements of your customers, so that your customers can stay and purchase from you, or maybe they can even go ahead and buy your services. But if you have not put the right things in place to ensure that people get into your shop, or you've not put the right attitude, even it starts from attitude, thinking, okay, what kind of things will I use, or what kind of means do I want to devise to ensure that I have the right customers, I have the right people coming to my shop, and you don't put those things in place, that will actually hamper the delivery of your retail shop, or the service, or if you hamper the activities, the business outcomes of your shop as it is. So it is important to understand that the quality management system helps you to set the pace, helps you to know what to do, what not to do, how to determine what your customers want, how they will want it, what they will want you to do, how can you continue to make them to come to you. And this applies across every business and organization. All right, so what's the purpose of the quality management system? Why do we actually put forth the quality management system? To improve our processes. So for example, maybe I sell shoes, right? And I want to start from, okay, how do people even get to know I sell shoes? So I have to go through maybe the marketing. Maybe let's say I can't even, like, okay, when we're listening to the first Dr. Shubale, when he was speaking, I don't have money to do my maybe major marketing as it is, but most of us actually have phones, right? So you can actually set up, you can actually decide to put the pictures of your shoes on your smartphones, like put it on your on your status. And you can set this process. Okay, the first thing is actually, I want to market this thing, I want people to know that this is what I do, and I set and I put this on my status for people to know. So what is the next step in this process? Okay, once people know, they need to know where to contact me. So for example, I can now also put it on my status and decide to add maybe a link, or a phone call, or a chat number that people can actually call me and speak to me when they have need for my product or my service. Then after that, I can decide that, okay, since they now know and they call me, okay, how do I want to ensure that when people call me, they always get to talk to me? Because it's part of it. If you have a business and people try to reach you and they can't reach you, they can't get you every time they do that, then it's a problem. Then they walk away. So you can not actually now decide to put in place, when people call, when they call him, at every point in time, they must be able to reach me, and I must be able to attend to them. So you put something in place to ensure that people don't miss your call, or even when they are going to miss, maybe it's not that time they are going to miss your call, or they don't get to meet you. You can actually put something in place, like saying that, okay, maybe I drop a voice message saying, oh, you have reached so business. However, please reach us, call us at so time. Maybe we are not available now, or we'll reach out to you when we get this call during our working hours. actually putting something in place to ensure that the business or your business keeps running and people don't, or your clients don't feel disappointed. Like one of the things I have a concern with when it comes to reaching maybe vendors or clients is that if you provide me a number on the website, for example, I should be able to reach that number. It's part of course being customer focused. It's actually looking out for your customers. When you put a number and people can reach that number. So if you give me a number on the website, then I should reach that number when I have a need of that number. So the quality management helps to ensure that the processes that is involved within the commercial activities of your organization are improved, that you put those processes in place and you ensure that those processes are working. Also helps you to set organization-wide direction. I think you can look at, okay, this is how we want to go as an organization, as a business. This is what and the steps we want to take, things we want to use. This is what we want people to know us for. These are some of the things that some of the reasons why we put up a quality management system. Also, it helps your employees, people that work with you, or people that even work for you, to know that, okay, there's a standard in place that they can follow. They are not confused. And when employees are not confused, they feel happy about where they are working. They are glad to come to work every day, knowing that everything is in place, that everything is set, and they can just, they can just start work and be on the move. And they feel comfortable. They have confidence in that organization that, okay, this organization knows what it's doing and they can be a part of that vision, right? Also, it helps to facilitate and identify training opportunities. When we look around the organization, when we have a quality management system, it's easier to identify, okay, these are the places where we are not doing well, and okay, this is what we can do to ensure that we move from where we have our current state to a desired state. So this is some of the purposes of actually having a quality management system in place in any business or organization. So what benefits is it to us? So if we know what we are doing, right, we are able to meet customer requirements because we understand it. We have thought about the customer itself and we understand what they need. And with that, if we are able to meet their requirements, they are very happy, they are confident. Customers can come back to us knowing that these people are of good standard. For example, if we look at the big brands, most of them are compliant when it comes to quality management. They don't play with quality. And because we have this confidence in them. So for example, even though some people have never taken Coca-Cola before, but when they say, oh, is Coca-Cola a good brand, you see them, they shake their head, yes, fantastic. Because over the years, they've been able to meet the requirements of their customers. They have tried, they have done they run their business in such a way that their reputation is not put at stake. So people already, or the customers already have confidence in them. So with it, they have more customers, they can get more business. So when your business is you've actually streamlined your processes, you have actually implemented and you've actually set pace for quality, people want to come back to you, they want to return to you. So, for example, a pharmacy or a supermarket that you go in, and the first thing when you get to the door, the what's it called? Is it the doorkeeper says, "Good morning, ma. You're welcome to so supermarket." You go in, the person that first meets you smiles at you, "Welcome, ma. Welcome, sir. It's so good to have you here. What would you have us do for you?" And you go in, you pick what you need to pick, then you go to cashier. The cashier even tells you, "Oh, thank you very much. Should I go ahead and do this?" Because they have these are the things that they have set in place. These are the what should I call this? The attitude of the value of the organization, and they have instilled this in their own employees, and the employees are able to pass that on to you. There is definitely an assurance that you will want to actually come back to that kind of business. You want to do more business with them. You want to even, in fact, the fact that somebody is saying thank you for coming, you want to come back to that kind of business. So these are some of the benefits of actually having a quality management system. You are able to meet customer requirements. So many people, like we say, around the globe, or around, I won't even say around the globe, let's even work within Lagos. So many people are so upset right now. So sometimes when we get to a place where you feel valued, there's tendency that there's a tendency for you to come back. There's a tendency to want to say, oh, this is a workable system, and I would like like to continue with them. So also when we well, one of the benefits also is it meets organizations requirements, because if we are able to do what we are meant to do according to the regulations, then we ensure that the business is always in compliance with all regulatory requirements, right? So we put in place due to the quality management system, we've been able to put in place processes or policies or that helps us or guides us to ensure that we do things right as an organization or as a business or as a ministry as it is, that okay, we have ensured that every process that we take is actually reduces waste, is cost effective, and operationally efficient. And for that, we are able to grow as an organization. We are able to actually increase as it is. Also, it helps us to present mistakes. So when we have set procedures and policies to actually get things done within a business, we can avoid mistakes. And by avoiding mistakes, we can reduce waste and lower cost. And as I said, it provides an organizational-wide direction for every employee, for the business as it is. All right, so ISO 9001, actually, as I have said, I have mentioned, it can be used by any organization, be it large, be it small, whatever it is that you do. You cut hair, you sew clothes, you are a dentist, you're a doctor, you're a pastor, whatever that organization might be, ISO 9001 can be used and can be deployed within your business. Also, it employs process approach. So when we are implementing ISO 9001, it employs a process approach. It takes things process by process. And the process approach implements, it uses the plan to check act cycle and risk-based thinking. That's what it incorporates in getting things done. So let's go quickly into what the process approach looks like, right? So the process approach is a way of looking at an organization or a business as a set of different activities, right, that are related together, that you use input to deliver particular results. So if we look at this diagram on my screen, we'll see that we have a source of inputs. Then we put that input and we process that input to generate a particular output, and that output goes to maybe our customer at the end of the day. So the source of input might be requirements from our customers. So for example, I would talk about let me look at let me look at the very simple thing. Let me look at, let's say church. Let's say a church. From the church, people want to come into the church, for example. The congregation wants to come to the church, or somebody attending the church wants to come to the church and receive a message. And while he's in church, he wants to feel comfortable, he wants to feel accepted. So for example, let's say I am driving to the church. The first thing I want to do when I come to church is to be able to say I have a place to park, right? So there's a particular process of ensuring that provide a space for the person to park or the visitor to park. So we create a car park. And by creating the car park space, we help the person to park to say, okay, this is where you're meant to park. This is how you're meant to park. And from that car park space, the person wants to be able to get direction. That's one of the things. Oh, direction. Once I have parked, I want to be able to say, okay, once I've parked, I should be able to get to the church. So if I am parked close to the church, I need somebody to direct me and say, okay, this is where I'm going to. So the church can make provisions and say, okay, because you're parked here, they can make provisions for certain people like protocol officers or maybe other car park officials will say, okay, please, you have the car park, this is the way to church. So they direct the person to church. When the person comes, is about to enter the church, it's possible that, oh, the person will need to know, oh, what is where am I to sit? Is it proper for me to just walk to the front of the entire church and sit down, or there's a specific place for me to sit? And that's when the church will think, okay, we need to have ushers that we direct these people, or to direct the person or a visitor to know where to sit. And when they direct them to sit, or when the person is seated, if there's any process, okay, the person needs to know, okay, the system in the church, we want it comfortable. So we want to provide good chairs. We want to provide comfortable chairs for people to sit to enjoy the service. We want the sound system to be okay. This is the output we should have. And all these things form a set of processes. You know, one input goes into another. The usher, the car park directs the person to church. It gets to the church, inside the church. The usher directs the person to where to sit. It gets there. The person needs to probably maybe do offering or one other thing. There's a set of people that have to guide the person. You know, all those processes are all the processes that it takes for every maybe every service as it is. And so it is also for maybe if you're running a retail outlet or an organization. An organization might be okay. People want to buy something from me. From us as an organization, they reach out to maybe we have a service desk or a customer sales rep. They call, hello, please, I'd like to get this, or how can I pick up this? Okay, they tell you, okay, this is what you should do. You follow through that process. That process goes to the, maybe you now place an order. They take the order and inform maybe the warehouse that, oh, we have this order. Kindly provide this order to this address, or the person will come and pick it, and they provide the order to that. So all this set of processes, all this set of activities goes from one level to another. It is acted on, then it comes out as output and acts as input to another process itself. So this is the process approach when it comes to the quality management system. So it sees our businesses, it defines our businesses as a set of processes or activities that are interacting or are interrelated, that ensures that one process serves as input into another, and it goes like that until we are able to achieve our intended results. The idea of risk-based thinking when it comes to the process approach is help us to actually think of the worst case scenario when we actually planning our processes or procedures. So risk-based thinking means that, okay, we look at it and say, what can possibly go wrong, right? We are about to place this order, or this person just placed the order. What can possibly go wrong about this order? Okay, the person wants the order delivered to him in the next, as a maximum of 2 days. Okay, 2 days we can do it, but what happens? What happens if you cannot deliver in 2 days? Especially maybe the person places an order that is far from the warehouse. So we can look at it that what can possibly go wrong that will not make us deliver this order to our customer. So one of the things that the organization or the business can do is that, okay, you know what? For locations that are in a particular areas, why don't we create what do I call it now? Maybe a small outlet, like a smaller warehouse where we can put things, right? Like, okay, we can stock product so that whenever there is an order that is placed close to that place, we can actually call them to deliver that order because it's closer to the location we're taking the order to. Or some other organization may like, okay, because we stay out of Lagos, right? And we know we have customers, we have marketed customers outside of Lagos. We have told them that we have a reach in Ibadan. So that means we have to create like a store or a warehouse in Ibadan. Or if we don't want to create a warehouse in Ibadan, we can look at other options of saying that, okay, why don't we look for somebody that, especially maybe you're just maybe the organization is a retail outlet, you're not the manufacturer, so maybe you're just an online market. You can decide that, okay, what if I have somebody that can supply that same product, or look for suppliers of products around different vicinities and tell them, okay, please come. If you know you can supply this product, let's know you're available. So that when we have maybe customers calling for those kind of products from different areas, we can actually reach out and say, please go and deliver. Probably one of those things is actually, how do we ensure that these people deliver? Because some people, you can tell the person, okay, please go and deliver, and the person refuses to deliver. So how do you ensure that this person is? And these are things that way you can now even say, okay, maybe we should set policies and have agreed SLAs with this kind of customers and say, okay, if you don't deliver, this is what will happen. And or maybe you don't decide, okay, aside from this person is not going to deliver, okay, let's have alternate suppliers. Let it not be just one vendor or one person we can talk to. Maybe let's have 2 or 3 people, so we have somebody to choose from. This is what risk-based thinking is all about when we are actually planning our quality management system. Be able to understand that what's the worst case scenario that will not help us to deliver on our objectives. What's the worst case scenario that will not help us to meet our customer expectation? What's the worst case scenario that can stop us from meeting regulatory compliance? So maybe for one thing, we're doing things, or maybe we want to go and do something, or maybe based on what it is that we are going to do, we are going to be going against the regulations. So this is the bedrock. This is why we have risk-based thinking when it comes to planning our quality management system. We need to think about what could possibly go wrong and be able to deal with what we call mitigate or find controls for what could possibly go wrong, so that they don't go wrong, they don't go that badly, or they don't even go wrong at all, or we don't even go ahead and do it at all, knowing that if we do it, we don't have a means to actually control it or mitigate the consequences of what might happen. Right, so that's basically what risk-based thinking is about. It is used throughout the process approach to decide how risk, maybe it's positive or negative, because risk also can be an advantage for the organization. So we can look at an uncertainty to what might happen. Okay, something might happen. So for example, we thought about the fact that we might not be able to provide, the risk was that we might not be able to reach out to maybe our customers that are outside of our vicinity, right? That was a risk. That was something we considered. But as we are considering it, we now looked at it that, okay, we might not be able to reach out to people outside our vicinity, but we can actually have other maybe franchises outside. We can create franchises out of our vicinity, or we can have warehouse, maybe smaller warehouses outside of our vicinity. Now, what we thought was an uncertainty before has now produced an opportunity for us. That means now it has given us avenues for newer channels of distribution, so to speak. So sometimes our risk can be positive and provide opportunities for us to actually deliver on our products and our services, right? So risk-based thinking, this helps us decide how our risk is addressed. How do we address this risk? How do we deal with it so that we can reduce results that we don't want. We can reduce non-conformities to things that we are doing. We can ensure that we get the intended results that we have set out to get. Also, it helps us to define the extent of process planning. How far can we plan this process, right? What are the controls that we need? What are the types of controls that we need? What's the extent of this control that we need to put in place to ensure that we get or we meet our objectives? Also, it helps to improve the quality management system. When you have planned everything that could possibly go wrong, though we don't always get it 100%, but it means that at least we have taken precautions, we have taken preventive actions to ensure that our end result is great. So it helps us to improve on the effectiveness of our quality management system when we actually apply risk-based thinking. Also, it helps us to maintain and manage a system that always addresses risk and meets objectives. So when we are carrying out risk-based thinking within our businesses, we need to also encourage and train, and also make aware or provide awareness to our staff and to those that are working with us, right? Please give me 2 minutes. Sorry.
Are you having connection issues? Right. Okay. Are you still there, Mrs. Shola? Okay, we'd have her back on the call while we wait for her to come back. Yes, for those of you asking, you can take the assessment after this class, right? And if you have not filled out the attendance form, kindly do so. Okay. And I think we've answered to some of your questions that you have asked on in the chat room.
Hello, Edith.
Okay.
So I'm back. I apologize
Okay,
for
great.
that.
Okay, okay, all right.
All right. So we said this risk-based thinking is also to help us maintain and manage a system that continually addresses risk. That was why that was what I was explaining, but before I step down. So we are able to maintain a system that is always addressing risk. That we're always looking when we are carrying out our processes or going about the business processes or going about business operations. We're able to look at it. Okay, how do we address it? What can possibly go wrong? What can possibly go wrong? And these are the things that we instill. Also, I know we like to be positive, and it's also good to keep a positive mind. But when it comes to how we actually deal with our businesses, we must be able to look at things that, okay, what are the uncertainties? What are we not sure about? What can go otherwise as planned, as in it can go the other way, so that we can make sure that we put controls in place, or we put measures in place to prevent those things from happening and having a negative impact on our business, or as it is. So, right. So the PDCA cycle, I did mention it when it comes to the PDCA process approach in quality management system. We actually use the PDCA cycle also. And this is a tool that is used to manage our processes and systems. The PDCA stands for plan, do, and check, and act. And we can actually apply this PDCA tool to maybe individual processes. So we are about to carry a process. We plan for how we want to carry out this process. How do we go about this process? We first plan it. So for example, I want to do marketing, right? I want to know, okay, what am I going to use to do this marketing of my product or my service? Okay, I decide that, okay, most of my people, I have to look at my audience, right? Who are they? Where are they? Okay, so maybe my audience, most of them are on Facebook. So I want to take my marketing to Facebook rather than go to Instagram or go to LinkedIn, when I know that my major audience for my service is on Facebook. So I will go there, right? If I know that my major audience for what I sell or my product or my services, they are not on Facebook, maybe they are on the streets, definitely, or they don't even use WhatsApp, or they don't use phones at all, then it will be poor of me to actually go into social media to try to market that service or product. I'd rather go to the streets to go and do my marketing. So this is part of planning. And when I want to go to the streets, I have to look at it. When I'm going to the streets, who are the people I'll be talking to? Maybe my service and product is meant for the elderly. So definitely I won't go to the secondary schools to go and talk to them. I'll be looking for where elderly can be. I can decide that, okay, this service or product that I want to provide, I would rather go to, where would the elderly be? Maybe they go for checkups at hospitals at certain places. I will go. Maybe they are in churches. I will go. Maybe they are in mosque. They go for meetings, elderly meetings. I'll look for avenues where I can meet the elderly. I'm just saying, if my product or services is meant for this groups of people, so I want to plan. So this is me planning a particular situation, but I can plan processes from process to process, right? I can plan the marketing. So I'm planning the marketing itself of my products and goods. I'll plan it. Then when I have finished planning, or you're done planning, then you do. Doing means implementing what you have planned. What have I set out to do? What are the things I've said I will use to do it? Part of my planning was actually maybe I have to take transport from somewhere to somewhere, or I have to visit so place. It's part of my plan. Then I'll actually now implement the plan. Implementing the plan means I will now do what I have planned. That means I have decided that I must visit some nursing homes, or I must visit some elderly people's home, or I must visit certain people to achieve this. Maybe I've said I will visit some groups of people that will even lead me to the audience that I need. So this is implementing the plan. After implementing the plan, I have to now check, okay, what I have implemented, is it meeting what I intended in the first place? What I have intended, okay, I have intended to meet with the people. Am I meeting the right people? Am I getting the right audience? Am I getting the right, what's the word now? Am I getting the right interest? Are these people interested in what I'm talking about? Are these people interested in the service and product? Do I think from my conversations with them that, okay, I'm actually meeting objectives? Is my service being sold? Are they appreciating my service? Is it meeting the requirements of the people that I have met? So this is my check-in. And if I feel that, oh, there's something that is not going well and is not gelling, then I'll now take a step back and I'll look at it. Okay, what can I possibly do again to make it better, to ensure my services provide more value to my audience or to my customers, or the product is more receptive, is more receptive, that they can receive my product better, or they can enjoy it better as it is. So this is what the PDCA cycle is really all about. It means that you plan, you first plan, then you choose, and you check what you have done to see, okay, is it meeting the objective? If it is not, you try, find ways to improve it. Then you act on the improvements that you have thought about, and to ensure that, okay, you can meet your objectives. Then with that, you plan again. So it's a cycle. It keeps going round and round and round. If you look at this diagram on the screen, you would see that it talks about altogether, it talks about what the clauses of ISO 9001 actually is. So the clause 4, which is organization, understanding organization and its concepts, all and customer requirements and the needs and expectations of our relevant interested parties. So there's nothing you can do. As you can see, everything I have said is all focused on the fact that what does the people I want to provide services or products to, what do they actually need? What do they want from my product? What do they want from my service? So you can't start a business if you don't understand the requirements, the requirements or expectations of people around you. So you can't start, you can't just start, let me use that example. You can't start a fast food restaurant in a place where, in an environment where what they need is an amala joint, right? You will just see people passing you by like, oh boy, this one will not feed us. Do you understand? So you need to understand the kind of people that your services and your goods or your products will satisfy. So also, aside from knowing your audience, you also need your customers. You also need to know what they actually want from that product or service. So you can be providing a product or a service, but they desire more than that. So you have an audience that maybe you are a laundry person, right? And you do laundry, and what you do is washing. However, a lot of your audience are looking at the possibility of having somebody to actually iron the clothes for them. So that's an extra thing, or some other thing that you can look at it. Okay, I've been washing for these people, but what has been the feedback from the people I'm working with? What exactly have they been saying? Because it's also important to get your feedback from your customers as to say, okay, what I am doing, what do you see as a, what are your, or what do you think? How can we improve? So many of us see like when we go to, maybe when we go to any, or maybe we are served the product or we are giving a service, you see people say, please, can you give comments? Or maybe like a training like this, for example, at the end of the day, there's a feedback from asking you, asking that, okay, what can we do better? That statement is not just for, it's not just for fancy. It's about the organization and transformational college in this case, trying to know, okay, how have we done here? How can we do better? How can we serve you better? Right? And that is the check stage of this training, right? Asking how can we improve? So that improvement is put into consideration, and another planning phase starts. Okay, based on what people have said, they want us to have this, they want us to include this type of courses, they want this type of people to speak with us, they want a physical class, something like that, as in something like that. These are the types of improvement that goes back into planning. Then we go back again to ensure that we plan, we do them, then hear from the customers again to see, okay, how better we can do. And you know, you can see that the cycle helps whatever organization or whatever entity or whatever business in this case to do better. Right? You're looking for ways to do better. You do it, you check it and say, okay, are we meeting objectives? Are the customer happy? Are the customers happy? Because there's no point in having these conversations or having this training if there's no impact on the people that are on this call. So it's important that we understand that, okay, what we are doing, does it have an impact? Are we meeting the objectives that we need to meet? And I know very, very much that one of the main objectives of this group is to grow people and make impactful people, like grow professionals, grow people that actually know how, that have a vision, as it has been discussed in the first session, that has a vision, that has a mission to achieve something, have a purpose and a goal to meet. And this is one of the relevance of this of this training. So we have to ensure that it is met. And if you apply this as you apply this even to a business scenario, as it is, or maybe you business setting or any setting at all, to understand that what you have planned to do, even as an individual, what have you planned? Have you done it? So I plan, I have a vision to do it, then I do it. Then after doing it, I do it and check, oh, what have I been doing? Have I met up with what I set out to do in the first place? Oh, I'm not met up. I need to do this, do this, do this. I check it. I plan for those ones again. Then I have to improve on what I have done. I start the planning again. I do. So it's a continuous cycle, right? All right, I've talked about this. I said I've explained what the PDCA is, and it operates as a cycle of continual improvement with risk-based thinking at each stage. I can't fail to emphasize that when it comes to this, when you're planning, when you're doing checking, acting, is with risk-based thinking at each stage. I remember when Dr. Shubale was saying something earlier. He was mentioning something around. He mentioned something around. Okay, I planned. I know that this thing is going to happen in 6 years, so I have to do all the prerequisites that will ensure that I meet up with that 6 years. So he has looked at the possibility that if I do it the first time and I fail, I know that by the time I do it like 2 or 3 more times, I will eventually meet up with it. So he has given the ample range of time that, okay, even if I miss it the first time, miss it the second time, I will not miss it the third time. And by the time I'm not missing it the third time, I'll still meet it. I will still meet the date or the deadline for that which he has planned to achieve, which is the stand as it is. So this is a way of ensuring that there's continual improvement with risk-based thinking at each stage, always putting the fact that what can possibly go wrong, right? All right. So our quality management principles quickly. ISO 9001 is based on 8 quality management principles. One is actually customer. The first one is customer focus. I've emphasized throughout this discussion about customer focus. We need to understand the needs of our existing customers or our future customers, right? And we must be able to align our objectives of our business, the objectives of whatever services or product organization we have to align this objective with our customer needs and expectations. We understand that we need to be able to meet their expectation, meet the requirements that they have for our products or services. Okay, if I say I'm selling drinks, right? My drinks must be able to quench people's thirst. They must not take the drink and at the end of the day, they feel that they've taken nothing, right? The customers must be happy. If I say I'm cutting people's hair, I'm a barber's salon, I'm a barber, or maybe I am an hairstylist, then I must be able to do that to the customer satisfaction. So there's customer focus, right? That's one of the principles of quality management. That okay, for you to have a quality management system in place, what are the things that you are meant to have? What are things that you must achieve? Yes, customer focus, leadership. There must be commitment of the leadership to the quality management as it is. You understand? So the leadership, as a leader of any business organization, must be able to establish your vision, right? For the organization or for the business. Establish your vision. Let people know. Set goals. We've talked about that earlier. In fact, the previous session was like a prerequisite to this. You need to set goals as a person that wants to achieve a particular thing. So as a business owner, as a leader within the organization or within the business, you must set goals. You must set goals for the business. You must equip your business. You must equip the people that are working with you. Equip them with the right tools, with the right training that they require. And as leaders, you must be able to also engage your employees or engage your staff, engage people that work with you in a way that it's easy for them to help you when it comes to risk-based thinking. It's easy for them to hone the organization and own it and act as it is their own. So you have to have the right leadership in place so that you can establish trust within your organization or business as it is. Engagement of people, I've talked about it in leadership. You need to be able to ensure that people have the right tools, have the right things to work with. They have the right equipment to work with. They have the right training, right? You ensure that people can stay accountable within the business. People stand for the business. They have trust and confidence, or even in your business or in the organization. We discussed so many things about process approach, managing the activities of the organization, a set of inputs and outputs for intended results. So you know that one process leads to another. When you put in a process, this is what it comes out for. You know where to take this process to get another output that will be put into another process to get another output until we get the final results. Be able to measure what these approaches that you have taken or these processes, are they achieving the right result? Ensure that you can reduce the you are able to reduce any kind of non-conformity or any kind of product that it does not meet your objective as it is. Also, you're able to deploy the right resources even onto these processes to ensure that it got done as effectively and efficiently as it could possibly be. The area of improvement, we talked about that on the PDCA, be able to improve your processes as it goes from one process to the other, look at it, check it, and say, okay, have you done it right? So you have to continually improve, right? And also, be able to align your improvement activities with your objective, with the objectives of the organization. Okay, this is what we want to achieve as an organization. Have we been able to get here? We haven't gotten here. What can we do to ensure that we get here? So improvement is one of the major principles of quality management, because with improvement, you can continue to meet your customer requirements, meet their expectations, and continue to keep your customer satisfied. Evidence-based decision making, right? You have proof that, okay, we have proof of why you are making whatever decision that you are making. And this comes even from checking, like it comes from taking monitoring. You can monitor customer activities to say, okay, based on what we've done for our customers, what's the feedback we have gotten, and from this feedback, this is what we are able to get done. You can actually look, okay, through your processes, what did we experience when we were carrying out these processes? What are the lessons learned? You can take what lessons you have learned and input that back into your quality management system to ensure that, okay, you're able to do better in next time, right? So that is what evidence-based decision making is about. Ability to take information, to take data, right? Data from maybe data that you have gathered from maybe queries or questionnaires or surveys or interviews, maybe with customers, with other stakeholders. You're able to take this information or this data, analyze them, and put them back into getting to ensuring that you do better or improve as an organization, or use to make vital decisions that helps to improve the business or the organization. Relationship management, you can never toy with this, because it also helps, because if you have the right relationships, many times it helps you to save costs. Maybe you have the right relationship with your suppliers. If you are the type that maybe you sell food, or you probably sell food, so you won't have the right relationship with the right people that will give you the raw materials that you need to ensure that the food is available. There might be times that you don't have, let's use that example, you don't have cash at hand, but maybe you've had the right relationship, so you can easily call your supplier and say, please deliver this to me, right? And we'll supply, and be based on trust and that relationship that you've been managing in a long time, and then they're able to get that done, and you can get your services or products delivered on time, right? So relationship is very important. In relationship with your employees or people that work with you is also very important. With this, you're able to minimize disgruntled employees. You're able to minimize errors. If you don't have a good relationship within your organization or within your business, there's tendency that there might be errors from your employees or business, and this will bring about a lot of unnecessary cost or expenses as it is. And you have to learn to recognize everyone that has an input into your system. It's important that you find a way to say thank you to your customers. This is part of building relationships. Appreciate them. Appreciate your employees. Appreciate your suppliers and vendors, right? Please speak to them. How do we do better, right? This is part of the relationship. How do we do better? Talk to your employees. People will work with you. How can we do better? Don't feel that as the business owner, right, I'm the only one that knows. You should be able to get feedback. How can we do this better? What are we doing? What are we doing now? What can we do better? What can we do next? You'll be surprised that the list of the people you think of your employees might be the one that has one great idea in mind that can help the organization move from where it is to a very a higher level as it is. So those are the principles. So for an organization, how do we apply the ISO 9001, right? We apply it to business operations. When we apply it, when we take QMS, when we apply the quality management system to our business operations, that means, like we have said, we have looked at, okay, how can we do things better according to within our processes? How can we ensure that our processes are streamlined? Everybody understand what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. When we put in policies to say, or we've written procedures, okay, to do this, you actually take A, you add it to B plus C. When we have documented processes like this, which is the part of the whole set of our quality management system, we're able to ensure that people follow, and we should try and enforce that people follow the procedures that needs to be followed. This is what you need to do. When you want to carry out this process, this is what you do first. After that, you do this. After that, you do this. When we put in place repeatable processes like this, we are able to ensure like a consistent quality across our products or across our services that we deliver. So there's not like, okay, this is how somebody did it today. Oh, tomorrow somebody comes and say, I prefer to do it like this. No, we are putting policies, we are putting processes, we have set procedures as to say, okay, this is how we should go about this thing. This is what the organization wants, or this is how the organization wants things to be done. When we are putting these policies, it is followed accordingly, and we ensure and help our staff or our employees to go about carrying out these activities. Because it's also important that even as we set these policies and procedures, we need to train and make sure that these policies and procedures are our workers or our staff or our employees or our vendors or suppliers or contractors or people that work with us understand these policies and processes and adhere to them, so that we can all be on the same page. So nobody is confused, everybody understands what to do, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done. So when we set down this, when we have implemented this quality management system, we now have to actually now look at it. Okay, what we have done, is it meeting objectives? Is it in alignment to what the organization or the mandate of the organization or the mandate of the business? If I say I want to, as an organization, I want, maybe as a business or organization, I want to be able to have 10 new customers every quarter. I can look at it based on what we have been doing. Are we having these 10 new customers? So we assess it, we look at the data that we have. Do we have 10 new customers within the last quarter? Oh, yes, we did. Oh, we didn't. What did we not do well? What can we do to ensure we still have this 10? Then we look at it. And with that, we make changes for improvement. We look for how we can improve, how we can do better. And when we do that, after a while, we can try to conduct audits within our quality management system and see, okay, within our quality management system, is it still is it in compliance? Is it meeting the requirements of the ISO 9001 standard? We can do that internally. We can do an internal audit of our system, of our quality management system. Are we following the standards as we have said? Is it meeting our own organizational requirements, right? What we want as an organization, what we are doing, how we are carrying out our process, is it meeting that requirement? That's an internal audit to check. When we check and we feel that, okay, what we are doing is not up to standard, or we see that we need opportunities to improve, or there are opportunities for improvement, we go ahead and carry out this improvement to ensure that our quality management system is improved and is better and efficient. After that, we can now decide to submit to third-party audits. Now you wonder, third-party audits, right? We can decide to do external audits for our quality management system. And this gives us a global coverage, right? It gives us a competitive advantage. So I can tell you categorically that though so many of us might not know about the significance of ISO 9001 compliance, but I can tell you that there are certain people that when they pick up a product, the first thing they want to check is this thing in compliance with the quality, global quality standard? If it's not, there are some countries that will never take a product into their organization, into their vicinity or their territory if it's not compliant with global standard for quality, right? So this is one of the advantages of actually going through these third-party audits. It gives you a global recognition that you stand for quality and you practice you have quality practices within your business or within your organization, that you have decided as an organization to do better than the next person, right? To be outstanding. So you can submit your quality management system to a third-party audit. The third-party audit comes into your organization, tries to see if you meet up with the standard that you have set with the ISO 9001 standard. And when they see that you are, then they certify you, right? They register you, eventually certify you. And every 3 years, you get to recertify. That means every 3 years, there's a repeat audit to check if you are still meeting up to requirements or if you have exceeded the requirements as it is. All right, so certification benefits. Like I said, it gives the organization more credibility in the marketplace. Customers are more satisfied because the more, the better you are, or the more matured you are. In this case, customer satisfaction is increased because everything you do when it comes to quality management system is based on customer focus. So your focus is how to meet customer expectations to satisfy them from time to time. So that's higher customer satisfaction. You have reduced product or service problems, like I said, because there's a way of doing things, and the way it's standard across the organization or across your business. There's minimal waste, there's minimal issues. So you're able to follow according to par, and you're able to meet the objectives. We have streamlined business processes because you are certified, and it's not just that you come and they just satisfy you. They must have checked your systems, audited it to ensure that they meet up to the standard. So streamline business processes, then check that your processes actually streamlined and understandable, and they check that the way you have carried out your processes is actually in compliance with the standard, the ISO 9001 standard. Improve the employee satisfaction. When we have streamlined business processes, when we have what should I call it? When the employees understand what to do and how to do, they are happier, they are more satisfied with their work. They are not confused. They know exactly what to do. They are provided with the right tools to do it. So the satisfaction of the employee is increased, right? They are happier doing the work that they are doing. And once the employees are happier doing it, everything is going. This provides an overall business improvement. The business improves, there's more productivity, there's more profitability, and there is growth, right? So actually, I want to leave this call actually with understanding that aside from ISO 9001 certification, one of the reasons why we're here is actually to be better people. It's called Transformation College, and it's the transformation of lives, and it comes through sometimes some of this is true despite the interactions or relationships we might have as members of this college. It comes actually through our learning path, our career path. And one of the career paths as individuals on this call for ISO 9001, you can decide to take these courses. At the end of this course, really, we would like everyone to actually take the foundation. A foundation course is a certified course. Just quickly take the foundation course for this foundation assessment for this course. You can be a lead implementer, you can be an implementer, you can decide to want to study ISO 9001 to be an implementer. Implementer means that you want to go into organizations or even implement for your own business as it is. Design how your business will run to ensure that there is quality, implement a quality management system in whatever business. It might be a supermarket, a small shop, or maybe a service that you deliver to people. So a value hard service, you can actually implement a quality management system for it. However, as a person, so you can be an implementer, and there's a stage for implementation, and there's I think there's a lead implementer, there's a professional lead implementer. So there are stages to that. You can also be an auditor, right? An auditor is the one that goes into organizations or businesses that have already implemented the ISO 9001 to actually see that their system, the quality management system, is in compliance or meets the requirements of ISO 9001 standard. And that one also has different stages. We have the auditor, we have the lead ISO 9001 auditor, the ISO 9001 lead auditor, and the professional or expert stage as it is. So this leads me to the end of this particular conversation. So if you have any questions, so thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your audience. It has been a great time. Any questions, please?
Thank you very much, Mrs. Olushola. Thank you very much. You can all now drop your questions in the chat room, and we'll take a look at them, and she would give answers to your questions. In the meantime, we have dropped the assessment link in the chat room. Okay, click on it, and some of you are asking if you have to register. Yes, please register and then take the exam. And on WhatsApp, we would send to you the step-by-step plan, step-by-step guide on how to register for those who are very new to platforms like this. So we'll send to you on WhatsApp shortly the step-by-step guide on how you'd register and take the exam. So we are still waiting for your question. Okay, so someone is asking, as an ISO certified, what is required from you? Okay, that's a question, Mrs. Shola.
Okay, you said as an ISO certified, what is requested from you, right? Okay, so depending on so we have various certification bodies for the ISO 9001. So however, depending on the certification body, there are different requirements. So some might require you to first write an exam. I think I know of PCB and I think I know of TUV. The PCB would require you to write an assessment, like an exam. After the exam, you might be required to actually give what they call this professional hours, like show that you have implemented or you've audited or you've been part of an implementation team for a while. So you have to report hours that you have spent actually doing these things. Then they now qualify you for a certification. So some of the time it's not, I think some of the times for the ISO certification, it's not that I write the exam, then I am now certified or I'm now a professional. So you might have to go through those stages of ensuring that you actually do the work, not just the exam, right? So you can actually find out from, I'm sure when you take some of those courses, you will probably get some other ways or other avenues to actually get certified when we go through some of those platforms. So I think
Okay. Okay, someone also asked, can we use these techniques for internal customers like other departments? I guess this question is for those who work in organizations. So
okay, so the quality management system is for the whole organization, right? You implement it across the organization. We don't implement it in isolation. So it works around the entire organization. So the techniques applied, or the management system, or the processes of the systems, or everything applies to every other department within within your organization. So it's not done or implemented in isolation. It applies across board, right? I hope this answers your question. So it applies to your internal customers. So you have to, when I say customer focus, I kept mentioning customers outside, and also mentioned our employees. Very, very important. In fact, I always say to people that your employees are your first customers. If you feel them, you feel every other thing. Because once they are happy, they will help you to reach out to those ones outside. Right. But once they are not happy, then you're not going anywhere. You're stuck. So they are your first customers. So everything that's been said about customers applies to your internal customers, which are the employees themselves.
Okay, Chieduzie Owehi, when we share the training material to everybody, you can read up the part that you missed. For the sake of time, we would not go back to principle number 8. When we share, you can read up. And then we have a question, if I may ask, when an organization adopts QMS, is there a minimum or maximum number of frequencies or times processes and documents can be reviewed? That question is not clear enough.
Okay, so Modupe, I'll try and see if I can answer based on my understanding of what you have asked. Okay, so when you're implementing a QMS, right, part of the requirements of the standard is to ensure that you retain certain documents within your quality management system. It's also said that you review your processes. You have to ensure that, and the essence of review your processes to ensure that you check if your processes or your system is still adequate for your intended objectives, right? Or intended results that you want to achieve. So you have to keep reviewing. Now, it's dependent on you as an organization or as a person or a business owner to know when you want to do this. But the thing is that the must is that you must do it. And I think within a whole year, it's 12 months. If you don't review your processes, then that actually, for me, it's a no go, right? You have to always review your process. At least what you can do is at least a minimum of once a year, a minimum of once a year. But many times things happen. So, for example, let's say you've reviewed your process last January of the year of COVID, right? You reviewed everything was perfectly fine. Then COVID happened. You know, because of the happening, there was a reason to actually review it again. So so there are things that would happen that will want to make you review what it is that your quality management system, to actually see that you can still do what you promised your customers that you want to do, or you can still meet up with their requirements. So if for a reason you're providing a product or a service and it happens that something was banned, maybe part of your raw materials was banned, or you can't have it anymore. Or maybe, okay, in the days of Jackpot now, people leave. Somebody within one of your key staff, or 2 or 3 of them, before 5 of them decide to leave at the same time. These are certain things that will make you want to look back and say, okay, this is how we do it before. 3 people used to carry out this process, but now we have to review it. We don't even have anybody. We have to go and look for somebody to come and do it. So these are one of the reasons why you have to continually, or these are the scenarios that will make you want to continually review your processes or review what it is that you have in ground. Maybe what you have documented, you find out that it's not applicable anymore. Then you have to go back to it and review it. But it's just important within your quality management system that while you're reviewing those things, you're documenting your reviews, because you show that you can fall back to them for references and evidence of why you have done or carried out that particular review, right? I hope that answers your question, Moduka.
Okay, and the last question here, please explain recertification every 3 years.
Okay, so if you decide to certify, an organization or business decides to certify ISO 9000, again, an ISO 9001 certification. So it's part of the audit or the control process to ensure that you're still meeting up with the requirements of the standard. So that's why the recertification is there. So the certification body comes back for a recertification to check that you're still meeting up with the standard, so they can validate your certification again. So you know now, even if we do, what should I call it now? When we do personal certifications, if some of us have done that, there are times, maybe various times in the years, or maybe 2 years, some certifications might expire in the next 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. You have to go back and recertify. Just like our driver's license, let me go there. So if you have a driver's license, you have to recertify that you can still drive. Forget how Nigeria one is done, but you have to go back to check that you can still drive within the next 5 years or 3 years, if that's what you signed up for. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so okay, the very last question we'll take today is, in reviewing our processes, does it mean we can review our vision and mission regularly?
Well, I would say yes. I would also say no. So I'll be in between, but I would say why I say both. So if you want to review your mission, your vision, you set out on a vision, right? I don't know, we talked about what should I call it now? Flexibility today, earlier in the days, right? You might have a vision in the first place, and if you feel that your vision is not working, I don't think you will continue in a vision that is not working for you or does not apply again. So I believe that you have a right to change your vision. You can review your vision. But if you're reviewing your vision and your mission, then you have to carry every stakeholder along. So your employees don't still keep working on the vision that you have planned before. So you have to carry every other person along. And at the same time, I would say, I said, yes, so why not? I can change my vision, I can change my mission, as long as I communicate and I understand what it is. But review processes doesn't mean that I have to review my vision and mission. It might just be that the path I am taking, or the path the organization is taking as it is not applicable anymore. For example, I might have a vision or mission that all my staff comes to work to deliver on a particular product. And since COVID happened, a lot of things have changed. So I might look at it at the business and say, okay, we can actually run this business a different way. And with that, we might decide to review what our processes look like, and certain things can change with respect to our vision and how we intend to carry out our vision. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we have come to the end of the session. You can all give a round of applause to Ms. Olushola. Thank you very much for taking us through this course. This is info-packed, and I believe everybody here had value for the past 1 hour, 30 minutes. Okay, so we would be back by 1 o'clock for the final session for today.
Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome. So we're going on a break now. Take your time, take the assessment, and we're also communicating on WhatsApp. Those of you asking if you have to enroll to take the exam, yes, it's a free registration. You register and you go straight to the exam. We've already taken through the session. So we'll be sharing on WhatsApp the step-by-step guide, how to register and take the assessment. Okay, so we'll be back by 1 o'clock. Please, let's keep to time, and we'll see you when we come back from the break. Thank you, and see you then.